If you've ever looked around your house, seen a flat surface that is completely covered with things, today is the video for you, my friends, because we're going to be talking about how do we declutter these high traffic areas in our home without feeling overwhelmed and stressed out by the end of it. So let's start with some of the facts. High traffic areas that are often cluttered feel impossible to take care of and keep up with because visual clutter is overwhelming for our brain. And over the years of doing research on decluttering and organizing and why it was finally working for me, it all came down to me thoroughly reducing the amount of visual clutter, especially in the high traffic areas, that allowed me to feel more in charge and have the ability to declutter these areas without feeling overwhelmed. Visual clutter on the walls, on the floor, on the table, it's telling us that we have a lot of decisions to make, right? Whether it is to declutter the item, throw it away, put it back where it belongs, find a new home for it, all of these decisions our brain is going through even if we're not conscious of them. And that's why for so many years, I had a lot of visual clutter on my walls, a lot of shelving. I didn't realize that that was even a problem until I realized that visual clutter is just one more decision that I haven't been able to make, one more chore that just hasn't been done. Well, today, as I take you decluttering, resetting, I want you to pay attention to yourself and how you feel decluttering your home. I listen to my gut feeling in a space, and I've learned to trust that gut feeling. The places behind me in my entryway, I have put some hooks. That's enough hooks for the stuff that we need for winter. I have a place for our hats and a place for our shoes. And what I realized is that when I have too many things hanging up there and there's too much stuff, I get a signal in my body that, hey, I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. I'm starting to feel chafed by clutter. It doesn't matter if I still need the clutter. It doesn't matter if I still like the stuff that's out. It is my body's way of telling me that I've hit too much. And I know, guys, I have to have a lot less. I do have ADHD and I am very easily triggered by clutter to feel overwhelmed. And so you probably will feel a lot different than me, especially if your brain works different. But the thing that stands is that if you're feeling that bubble up of overwhelm every time you walk into a room and you're saying, I can't get rid of any of this stuff, I want you to stop there and I want you to think about how can I make this a little bit better? So I've started to think about my clutter in terms of a slope. If you're feeling overwhelmed in a space, it's because the slope of your clutter is really steep. You're feeling like you're suffocating. You're going down a hill so fast that you just can't breathe. You don't know how to fix anything. So how can I lower that slope? By getting rid of 5 to 10% of the visual clutter in the area. Coats that are behind me, I will take a few of them out. Each of us will have one thing that we can keep out in this space in order for it to feel comfortable. And the other things have to go in the hallway closet a little further away and out of sight because the visual clutter has reached a peak in this space. Does the slope idea work for you? Let me know down below. Having a visual for me always helps me to assess how I'm feeling in a space and be able to give it words to my feelings. I really like the idea that clutter is going to come into your space. Clutter is going to be there. I know there's extreme minimalists, but that's not who I am. But knowing that there's going to be some clutter allows me to give myself grace that I don't need perfection, but I just need a lower slope. And finding that slope that feels and fits right in your spaces is going to make it feel like every day you are comfortable putting things away, you are comfortable seeing them out, and it's not chafing clutter. All right, I'm in my comfy clothes because I knew I was going to be doing some decluttering and organizing today, so I just wanted to feel comfy and cozy. And it's also a cloudy day, so there's that. But hey, I'm up and doing something. I'm going to be honest, I don't think I could go back to a life without a robot vacuum. That's why I wanted to quickly thank today's sponsor, ECOVACS. Between having a daughter, 2 dogs, 2 birds, and real home that people actually live in, my floors are constantly dirty. There's always pet hair, bird seeds, crumbs, you name it, it's been on my floor. And after having the ECOVACS DEEBOT T50 Pro OMNI for over a year now, I can genuinely say This thing saves me so much time and energy every week. I've used and loved ECOVACS for years because they just work, and they think about everyone with their options. I've gotten back hundreds of hours of my life that I used to spend vacuuming, and now I get to spend them with my family. I even convinced my mother-in-law to use one because she hated vacuuming upstairs, and now she barely has to think about it anymore. One of the biggest differences with this one is how thin it is. It's only 81 millimeters tall, so it slides under the furniture most robot vacuums can't reach. And I hate to say it, but under the couch was basically an ecosystem at this point. But with this vacuum, there's no more struggling to clean under beds and couches, under the cabinets, all those annoying spaces that are easy to forget. And the suction is strong. This thing handles dog hair, crumbs, dirt, all the things our home, especially with kids, seems to throw at us. Where most robot vacuums skip the edges, this one owns them. With the true edge technology, no edge is left behind. But my favorite part is definitely the zero tangle brush system, because I used to spend hours cutting out the hair of vacuums, but there's no more annoying tangles, and maintenance overall has been really low. The OMNI station washes, dries, and refills itself, which makes this way more set it and forget it. As a busy mom, that's exactly what I want and what I needed. I also love how smart it is navigating around my home. Things like dog toys, charger cords, random kid chaos. It avoids obstacles so much better than older robot vacuums that I've used. So overall, yes, I'm still using it, still happy with it, and for busy moms with pets or kids, I genuinely think it's worth it. Honestly, it's like a robot vacuum and a dishwasher had a baby. So comment below ECOVACS if you want me to send you the link. I'm gonna move into my kitchen now, and I'm gonna show you guys how I do the next step of decluttering and organizing in order to feel like my space feels better, but also not to overwhelm myself. And it comes down to picking one or two flat surfaces in that area that you know are doable, but also you know are high impact for that space. If they feel decluttered, then you always feel better. I know we're thinking about a space in our kitchen right now. Maybe it's the place that we always use in order to cut up our stuff and prep things for cooking. I want you to look around those flat surfaces you have right now. And I know a lot of us start with a lot of clutter on our kitchen countertops because, hey, that's just where clutter seems to magnetize, right? It's all the things in the house seem to find the kitchen. But once you've picked your flat surface, I want you to set just a 5 to 10 minute timer. We do not want this to be an overwhelming process for you, but especially if you feel overwhelmed, you don't know where to start, and you get stressed out by decluttering and organizing, it really helps to have a timer, because the timer gives you an out, it tells you when you're done, and it also, especially for myself, keeps me moving and motivated. So I am moving quickly through these spaces, not spending 5 minutes staring off into space, which has definitely happened before. And the other thing that you want to do in these high traffic areas is to make as quick and fast decisions as possible. We as human beings get decision fatigue when we have to make a ton of quick decisions, and it feels really stressful. But in these high traffic areas, often they're filled with things either we do not need, that are trash, or they're things that are not in the right home. So I want you to very quickly make that decision on what these things mean to you. Are they benefiting your life, or are they hindering you and slowing you down? Because what I've learned over these years is that cleaning takes steps. And until you identify if you are comfortable and willing to do all of those steps, you will have a really hard time figuring out whether you need to declutter something or not. But once you have identified the amount of steps that it takes in order to clean this item, in order to clean the surface if it's sitting on the top of a flat surface, only then will you be able to make a quicker decision on if it really matters to you. I did a video a while ago and I loved some of the responses, because I had talked about how I no longer have an apple cutter because I was really frustrated with cleaning it and having to go in all the little grooves, and it irritated me. But some of you guys said, absolutely not. I would never get rid of the apple cutter. It's one of my favorite things. I use it all of the time. And I loved that, because that means that you identified how much work goes into the item that you are keeping, and you've identified that that is working for you, that that makes sense, and that you enjoy it enough to do all of those steps. So therefore, you would never get rid of it. And that's exactly where I want us all to be, is to be identifying all of these items in our home, how hard they are to clean, and whether we are just not willing to do that. All right, real quick, if you're enjoying this, and then come join us here on Minimalese. We're a lot of fun. And throw a heart emoji down below if you are already decluttering here with us, because we all like to know we're not alone. All right, as I continue moving through my home, making some quick decisions, moving things back where they belong, I'm constantly checking in with how regulated my body feels with decluttering and cleaning. I'm constantly thinking about, do I still have the energy to keep going to the next spot? Because I don't want my body to ever feel like this was too hard for me, because those were always the times where I didn't want to do this anymore. I didn't want to declutter anymore. I didn't want to have to do resets anymore because I was telling myself that it was just too hard. And that's why I just want to keep reminding you guys that while we're making these quick decisions, acknowledge that they don't need to be perfect. You can keep something that later you declutter. You can declutter something that later you figure out, hey, I'm a little sad I decluttered that. Maybe I'll bring it back in, or maybe I'll bring a different version of it back in. All of those things are going to happen to you as you are decluttering. But the perfect storm is when you decide that you don't have to make any decisions and you're just going to find a home for everything, because it's not going to relieve that irritation that your house is causing you if you're just moving it to a different room, if you're constantly trying to reorganize the area because you think that's your problem, when the real problem is that you just have too much inventory. All right, so as I'm still decluttering my house and organizing it, doing a little cleanup, another thing I always do is decide if I can't decide, okay? I am not perfect. And so yes, I come up to things and I'm not sure when the last time I used them, or I don't know if I really still need it in my house. And I don't stress about that anymore, because yes, on one hand, we want to make quick decisions. We want to move on and keep going. But on the other hand, you don't want to hit a spot where you feel too overwhelmed that you don't want to move on. And so having a maybe bin, having a decision later bin in your home is an invaluable thing to have. I know I used to in my old house have one right near my front door, and now I do have a bin, but I use it as a decluttering bin and as a bin on things that I either need to return or get out of my house. So it has become kind of an everything bin. But having a bag full of things that you just don't know if you can make the decision right now helps you to keep moving. Yes, in a perfect world, we could all make the perfect decision and move on, but we all know that that's just not going to happen, right? If you're finding yourself tripping up over and over again, have a maybe bin, set it in a closet maybe you don't see very often or you're not using very often, and then come back to it. My rule is always, if I haven't thought about it or I haven't gotten it out in about a month or two, then there's my decision. I don't need to go back through the bin. The bin has helped me to find clarity that I didn't have before. As I'm resetting, organizing, decluttering a little bit my home, I've realized that there is a point when I finally have a green light moment. And it's when my body finally feels comfortable in a space. It's not when it's perfect, because that just doesn't happen for me. If it happens for you, let me know. But it is when I feel like I can look around and say, hey, yes, maybe not everything's dusted, and maybe I still have a few more things that I need to put away, but it feels more comfortable. And I want you to recognize that in yourself. It's a really important step. I know a lot of us talk about how we keep decluttering, and it just keeps going, and I never find an ending spot. And where I don't think I'm ever going to come to a point in my life where I never declutter and I never have to reset because my home is just always perfect. That's not going to ever be my reality. But I do think there is a point where if you're doing little resets throughout the day and you've created a slope that feels a lot more comfortable to you, you just have to do these little declutters throughout your weeks and months, throughout your days, and you will always feel a lot better. So even when my home feels like a disaster trash area, which it does get like that, I don't ever feel super stressed out about it, because I know if I set a 10-minute timer, I am able to deal with it. My family is able to help me with it. It's a manageable thing because I've reached a slope that doesn't feel too big. So that's when you're gonna know that you finally are more comfortable in a space, is when you feel like, even when this place is cluttered, I'm not freaking out and want to burn everything down. I remember my mom telling me years ago, when you're cleaning up your home, putting things away, that you should never have so many things out that you walk away, you feel like you can't do it yourself. And that always rung true for me. If I was in a space that I felt like I couldn't get it done in 10 minutes, then there was an inventory problem. It didn't matter if I liked it or loved it or enjoyed it. If it couldn't fit into my 10-minute timer, honestly, it was better off with somebody else. So let me know if any of those help you. It's just a little insight. As I was decluttering, I thought I would share with you. And if you have enjoyed this, then I want you to keep learning and watch one of these videos right here. And I wish you guys all the very best.